Board of Selectmen meeting for December 5th. Call the meeting to order at 7:16. Everybody rise for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment. Is there any public comment? Please come to the mic, state your name and address. A reminder, we're on 2 minutes for public comment. Do you want the recording secretary? And our town attorney, yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
So my name is Pia Magani, and I am here to speak on behalf of 1638 Columbus.
So this microphone does not reverb, so you won't hear her speaking into microphone. So we can hear you. So if you want to face that way and speak, I'm fine with that, if that's okay with the board. Yeah, we're going to quiet them down.
So we had written a letter and collected letters from our tenants, and we had wanted to talk about the elimination of the Strand lot as a municipal lot, which appears to have occurred on November 30th. I know that the first selectman is aware of this and is working on it. But we felt that it was important to come and to speak about it, and we have provided them with letters from some of our tenants. Some of our tenants are also sending letters directly to the first selectwoman as well. So I suppose I will just read the letter that we had drafted, which just outlines our concerns. This letter is in response to unannounced changes to municipal parking availability downtown. Based on social media posts and changes to public signage, we understand that as of November 30th, the municipal parking lot located next to the Strand Theater has been privately leased by the Knights of Columbus for use by patrons of the Strand Theater property only. To our knowledge, municipal parking has been available in this lot since at least 1995, when the lot was redesigned to increase municipal parking as part of downtown streetscape improvements funded by DECD. On or about 2006 and 2015, use of municipal parking spaces available in this lot was included as part of the zoning approvals for the development of 16 Bank and 38 Columbus, which offers affordable rental housing for seniors 55 years and older, with the extension of the sidewalk to the entrance of the lot next to the Strand on or about 2019. This lot has provided safe and accessible parking to downtown senior residents, their visitors, and business employees and patrons. The abrupt and unannounced elimination of municipal parking in this lot creates an immediate hardship to our senior tenant population. This cannot be overstated. Our property provides safe and accessible housing for seniors who have lived in Seymour or the surrounding area for all their lives or have relocated to Seymour to be close to family. Our population is aging in place and cannot safely navigate the greater distance from the Fishler train station or Trestle Tavern municipal lots. That may not be what they're actually called, but that's what they're located there. We have a tenant who is disabled and undergoing chemotherapy with a seat handicap sticker who was asked not to park in the Strand lot before the new lease took effect. Indeed, the Knights of Columbus informed this tenant that parking was not permitted in the designated handicap space in the publicly signed municipal lot, and then barricaded the designated handicap space with parking cones so the space could not be used. This tenant has been a resident of the property for 4 years. We have a tenant who has suffered a series of strokes, who cannot safely navigate the greater distance to other municipal lots, who has called crying multiple times since the parking changes have been announced, asking where she can safely park. We have tenants who have paid the municipal parking fees on limited incomes with a reasonable expectation that parking is available in the Strand lot as represented by the town and the parking authority. We have a senior tenant who parked on Humphrey Street and crossed the Kissing Crossing stairs over the train tracks at night because they could not find parking on the street and were unsure of where they could safely park with their municipal permit. This was after receiving multiple tow notices from the Knights of Columbus after parking in the Strand. We have tenants whose elderly friends and family cannot visit because they cannot navigate the greater distance to the other municipal lots. The only notice provided regarding this change has been a social media post and comment thread between the First Selectwoman and Anna Donato on behalf of the Strand regarding the permitted use of this lot and changes to public signage in the lot on November 30th. No notice was provided to the residents, business, or property owners regarding this change, either by the town or Knights of Columbus. The town has represented that they were unaware of the private lease with the Knights of Columbus. The Knights of Columbus claim that the town failed to meet their obligations of good faith and that the lot is required for patrons of the Strand Theater property. The town's disregard for our senior resident population, the lack of notice, planning, or oversight is disheartening. We are attaching letters from tenants regarding the hardship imposed by this change. We ask that the town address this issue and work with all parties to resolve amicably while providing immediate relief to our tenants and supporting the downtown community.
You were fine on time. Does anybody else want, I know, I was holding this for my selectmen's comments because we normally do not go back and forth during public comments. But I do have it in my selectwoman's report, which is at the end of my, towards our meeting.
You could take it out of order, Madam First Selectwoman, as the first item.
Can I have a
Folks that have-
motion to take my selectwoman's report?
So moved.
Oh, sorry, finish public comment. We gotta finish public comment first, sorry.
The only thing that I would add is, as a retail merchant, the loss of a municipal lot, so those two retail businesses that are at 26 Ann Street and 16 Big Street, is something that is untenable, and I'm not sure how we retail and everybody's assets are going to support this. There's a lot of talk and a lot of excitement about it, but there also needs to be a proactive plan about how we can facilitate economic development in the downtown that we have, that we spend so much time and energy and effort working and living.
Is there any other public comment? Please come up and state your name for the record, please.
Joan Muller-Ferran, I live at 16 Main Street. I'm a former teacher, so I read a microphone. Oh, am I?
Yeah.
All right, okay. So, quickly, I'm in my 70s now, but when I was 11 years old, I loved this town so much, I walked 4 miles every weekend, a rock in each hand, because there were no dog leash laws. To protect myself, I went to the fishing place, I went to Rogel's, I mean, I just adored this town. And it took me 60 years to retire so I could move here. I love this town, I always have. I love the water, I love the falls. You'll see me raking, you'll see me picking up trash, you'll see me shoveling. I'm constantly reporting animals that are in distress. I love the town. I cannot physically keep dragging groceries a block to get to my apartment. I walked 2.5 miles during the Santa event, being the valet for people younger than me, but who aren't mobile, to help them get their cars off the street. And I drove them one by one to the fish ladder, and then at 8:30 at night, in the dark, I drove down there and drove them back. And some of these cars, I was trying to reach the gas pedal and hoping the police didn't stop me. It is inconvenient to a point of dangerous. And the thing that is so attractive about this town is that it's kind of a morph between then and now. But I was in New Haven, and I don't go to New Haven anymore because there's nowhere to park. And they tow you constantly. And you get this little squeezy knot in your gut because you don't have the money to get your car. You don't have an Uber money to get to your car, which is, now you have to pay for gas. I'm just terrified of getting a place to park, and so are all the people I live with. So I just wanted to bring that up because we're scared. We're a vulnerable population. And this town was a place where we always felt safe. And now, you know, at 8:30 at night, I'm walking to the fish ladder and back about 4 or 5 times to move cars. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Please state your name and address for the record.
Mike Hardy, 72 Mountain Road. It's come to my attention that, maybe I have to address the Board of Ed too, is, we don't have a working scoreboard for our high school baseball team up at French Park. We have a working scoreboard at the high school football field, in both, Seymour High School gym, the middle school gym, but the scoreboard at the French Park, that the baseball can use, isn't up there. Is there anything that Seymour can do to get that operating for the upcoming baseball season? Thank you.
Any other public comment? State your name and address for the record, please.
Here by Lynn, I'm Lynn Giardini. I've had the salon I've worked on the corner there for 10 years, and I just don't know what happened to kindness. I feel like I look at an empty parking lot across the street from me that Zoe's owns empty for 4 years. Been driving the past 2 nights through this empty parking lot down the street. It's maddening to me of what's going on. It's like, you know, we're a small community just trying to make a living, and why are people so angry? Oh, I'm gonna take this parking lot from you. You can't park here, you can't park there. I've counted little billboards. There's at least 37 businesses, 97 parking places. If there's there's more than 3 employees per business. Jimmy's has 12, the town's, train station piece has 12. We're 111 employees supposed to park. Never mind customers. It's just, I love my business so much, and I feel like I'm being pushed out of downtown. My business is my baby, and it's just maddening to me of how people don't care. How can you go to sleep at night? I go, oh, I'm just gonna shut this down. You can't park here, you can't park there. Where are we supposed to park? I will sleep at night over this. And if I have to move my business and somebody else comes in and takes my salon that I did so much work to, it's not right.
Is there any other public comment?
Go ahead. I have plenty of time. Go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Good evening. Hello, Kurt. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. Fred, nice to see you. I'm Joe Magani. I'm at 22 Bank Street. I'm an architect. I've been here since 1995 in the downtown. I wanted to share some of the history. In 1995, John O'Toole was the first selectman. He wrote a grant to DECD and got $500,000. We helped him write it. We were the consultant of record, and we did a facade restoration program with half the money, and the rest of it we did the rebricking of the sidewalks, which would be phase 1. Koskolowski did phase 2 on Main Street, I believe, a little years later, or maybe did it before, but it was a collective project. The merchants met in this room every week for a year, every Tuesday morning. John provided donuts, and what was interesting is a year later we were all friends. When we started, we weren't. And it's an amazing thing about people that if you get to know them, it's hard not to become fond of them. But the history of that project is I designed a lot that the Strand is trying to take over right now. The history was that people were complaining about parking. There was no parking, there was no parking. So we did a study, and I stood at the intersection of First Street and Bank Street, and I took a photograph for a week at 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 4 o'clock, the 4 compass points. And then I tallied cars, and what we found was that the people who were taking all the parking spaces were the employees for the companies who work downtown. Not surprising. The business owners, why would you want to walk when you could park in front of your store? So one of the solutions for that was to create what was the municipal parking lot adjacent to the Strand Theater. The state money paid for that lot, the paving, the reconfiguration, the landscaping, the striping. And John worked in concert with the leadership of the Strand, and it was a collective agreement that the town would lease it and that the Strand would benefit from the paving. The pattern, because I work downtown, because we're always going across the street to the Giggling Pig Art Studio that we opened there on Bank Street, is that you will see a constant stream of business owners and employees walking from downtown to the Strand lot to park with a municipal permit. And that was the plan, because then you free up the spaces on the streets for customers. And so to take away that lot is to actually cause injury, not just to the senior tenants who live downtown who are physically challenged to access the building, more than 100 to 200 feet away. The real challenge is that by taking away that what would be business owner and employee parking, that you are going to create a climate where businesses are not welcome in the downtown. So we, for 25 years, operated the Seymour Antiques Company. We closed it during the pandemic. We have not reopened it yet. We would like to reopen it yet. One of the reasons that we haven't reopened it is because it's so much work and it was always a cash loser, barely broke even. But it was a great vehicle to bring people downtown, put people on the street, to create a retail climate. A good example of that is Michael Skirdick's Glass Gallery, where he sells high-end. He has a teaching studio, and he has a consultancy doing stained glass. That's a great business model for the downtown, because he's not entirely dependent on street traffic. The Giggling Pig, which is a franchise location that we put in place to tenant 16 Bank Street, that's a really exciting upbeat project.
It is, yes.
If you like kids and the energy they bring into everybody's life, you can't find a better venue. It is challenging because we have events and parties and classes, and it brings people downtown. Often they have a challenge finding a place to park. We had an issue 2 years ago where when the streets were made one way, when First Street was in Columbus were made one way, creating a fire lane. And then we reached an agreement with the town, but it took away about 3 parking spaces net from that. So every parking space tends to be valuable. Taking them away and changing the dynamic where all of a sudden now the business owners and the employees will be parking on the street, probably in front of the business, taking spaces from potential customers, because it's the retail traffic that's generated. And the beauty of the downtown is its real history, the character. You can't take that away. You can't remanufacture that in a new building. You can try, but the authenticity can't be taken away. We worked on for 2 years to create a bakery in Suite 140. We're in the process of looking for a banker. It's a long-term commitment for us, significant resources. We're questioning that because of the lot going away. At some point, you have to do the business analysis and come to the realization that if people can't get to you, if they can't find a place to park. So for all those reasons, we really need to address how the Strand came to be not a municipal parking lot, how we might again make it a municipal parking lot, come to some agreement or terms with the Strand. I'm Catholic, it embarrasses me that the Knights of Columbus is doing this. It really bothers me a lot. So hopefully we can work together. We're consultants, we work throughout the state, we work in a lot of towns and cities. We made presentations to a lot of boards of selectmen. We made a presentation for a new community center last night. Aiden and I, my son works with us, my daughter works with us, my wife is the boss. And Beacon Falls.
It should be.
And what a nice group of people. There were 50 people in the room, a couple of naysayers, but everybody was so friendly and courteous and respectful, and it was a wonderful time. And it was so much fun to be there with the folks that it almost didn't matter whether they approved the project or not, because it was just a good experience. So this town has had that. I love people of Seymour, they're all good people. The best part is that they don't like you, they'll tell you to your face, because you can work with that. So I think we need to pull together. We do have a common goal. I'm glad that Kurt's back here because he knows all the strings learning in the job. So you make a great, never thought I would say this, but support team.
Thank you.
But it's empowering because of the skill and the knowledge, the resources, and when you come down to it, maybe a little common sense. So I would encourage you and ask you to, let's work together, resolve this kind of big issue, this way, that parking lot. And create a climate that'll bring businesses to the downtown. Vacant downtowns are a hard sell, and so you gotta work at it. And I think the parking issue is pretty straightforward. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment?
John Halleman from Day Street. When they read the letter that they have, my question is, the statement made, Seymour defaulted to the Knights of the Columbus. Is that how you wrote it? Something of that nature? It said, the Knights of Columbus felt that Seymour didn't hold up to their end of the bargain. We need to look into what we did wrong. I mean, I'd have to read the letter, but in there, I picked up on her making that statement. And I know the owners always can be very difficult. I shot pool out at Trestle Tavern, and I saw him on the sidewalk on more than one occasion yelling at us. So, but I think somehow we need to do something. I grew up in the Strand Theater. We walked to the Strand Theater from Spring Street. There was never any of this parking issue. You could just park there, go to the movies, and go home. There was no issue. No tow. Knights of Columbus maybe they were nicer then. I don't know. Maybe the people there then were nicer. I don't know. But we didn't have these issues. But if Seymour did something to anger the Knights of Columbus, we should see what we did. It's nice to see the people I voted for too tonight. Nice to see you.
Thanks, Don. Thank you. Is there any other public comment?
Sure.
Yep, spelling my last name. My name's Patricia Hirsch, last name spelled H-E-S-E. I'm new to Seymour. I work in Seymour. I live in Seymour. I actually live in a property owned by Jonathan Otto, so I'm hoping that what I say does not anger him. But the thing is, I notice there's not a lot of parking downtown. And I notice that most of the businesses downtown close early with the exception of the bars and the restaurants. Now, if this town did something to default on agreement with the Knights of Columbus, they may be able to fix it. But the thing is, for older people, I'm not young myself, I'm 55, so.
I like to think that's young because I'm right there with you.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Well, okay, I'm just saying we're nearing getting to that age where it might be harder to get around. Now, I feel for my friends who are senior citizens who cannot walk longer distances.
Yes.
Or is there any way if we can make the parking lot available again for them to use, to get to and from, or if there's some way we could get maybe a senior busing system that can bring them to where they need to go if they have to park their cars further away. Something that the town can help with, or maybe they can pay nominal fee for, because I know that Milford has a good senior busing system. And they're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I think the senior bus pass for that paratransit or whatever is maybe $35 or something a month. It's not very large. I mean, if there's a way we could have transportation to and from, if they need to park their cars further away, so that they don't have to walk and that they can feel safe. Because I notice there's not a lot of lighting at night, and I walk at night because I have a dog to walk. And I know they shut the Riverwalk down, the lights down on the Riverwalk, which I don't really understand because I know they don't want people there at night for safety reasons, but shutting off the lights makes it even more dangerous than having the lights on. Especially when that area, that apartment building there is mostly handicapped people that live right along there. And I've noticed that that parking lot, except during the day when there's municipal people parked there, is a lot emptier than people think. So if we can work with the places that have parking lots that are close to the downtown for the senior citizens who live in buildings around here, so that they can either park in there, even with maybe an agreement with that lot on the end for during the evening. And I'd be willing to, because I'm up anyway, escort people back and forth, walking wise. It's just, we need something that makes them feel safe, we need something that's affordable, and we need something that's accessible. And that's like basically all I have to say. I hope I didn't anger my landlord.
Is there any other public comment? Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Okay, public comment closed. Can I have a motion to move Selectwoman's report up? Make a motion to move.
Seconded.
Motion by Trish, second by Pat Lombardi. All in favor?
Aye.
So, on to, we'll take 165 Main Street parking. The town did not default on anything with the Strand. That is a state parking lot, municipal parking lot. The town has had a lease with the state. We are in the process of renegotiating the lease with the state. The town still has maintained that parking lot for the past 30 years. We plow it, we curb it, pave it, we fill in the potholes. The Knights of Columbus has 12 parking spots along their building. They were upset because people were parking in their 12 parking spots. They were upset because people were parking in their 12 parking spots and left their cars there overnight. So the Knights of Columbus, 165 Main Street, knew that we were in the process of renegotiating our lease with the state. They went behind the town's back and got a lease with this state, is what she told me on Facebook. And you all saw we're going back and forth. State Rep Nicole Claridis-Dittrey is here. We've been going back and forth with the rails. We've been going back and forth with our attorney. Our attorney has asked their attorney for copies of the signed lease. We finally get a letter from the state, and our state rep has been going on it. According to the state of Connecticut, Miss Mary Ann Daly, who is with the officer of the Commission for the Connecticut Department of Transportation, there is no executed lease with the Strand Theater, 165 Main Street in the state of Connecticut.
Good.
Correct? So, they have no right.
If you were asking me if that's correct, that is what, in fact, the letter from the state official from the office of the commissioner said to you, that there is no executed lease. I will say their attorney claims otherwise. I've asked for a copy of it, and none has been forthcoming.
So they had stated, the state of Connecticut has stated, and our state rep is here as well, so I'm sure she'll want to speak in public comment as well later on, that right now, 165 Main Street, since they do not have an executed lease, cannot stop anybody from parking in there. They cannot barricade the parking lot. We can still have people park there. This is an ongoing matter, and nothing has been executed with the Ways and Means or the Department of Rails. There is no lease on file that has been executed, and there was a filing with our clerk. It was from their attorney that just says there's a lease, but even in that lease.
So there was a notice of lease filed by
Their attorney.
165 Main Street, Inc. It is an unsigned, at least the copy that I was provided, is an unsigned notice of lease, and it seems to have very strange dates in terms of when it commenced and when it terminates.
It terminated before it commenced.
Yeah, it's something's wrong. But but it is unsigned, at least the copy that I was provided. And the state officials are saying there is no executed lease. The attorney for 165 Main is saying he has a signed lease.
But he won't give a copy of
He
the
hasn't
signed lease
provided it to
because
us.
he says that he has to check with his client to give us a copy.
So we're going to get to the bottom of that. That is coming.
So I will fight the battle, and I will take it up with the owner of 165 Main Street, and I will tell your tenants and people who want to visit the downtown area to please park in that area until I have a signed lease and a letter from the state of Connecticut that says that there is a lease between the state of Connecticut and 165 Main Street. That's when you can stop parking in there. But the state of Connecticut also knows that that parking lot was part of 138 Columbus Street was going in. That parking lot was there. The state of Connecticut knows that our people who take the train use that parking lot to park. The state of Connecticut knows that that parking lot is vital to our downtown area. And the state of Connecticut knows that you cannot just take a lease away from a municipality and give it to a private entity. So the state is well aware of that. And that is a battle that we're going to continue to go on every single day until it is done. And if we have to go to our next step, I have no problem going to the next step either. Okay?
Can I clap?
If you wish. I understand that parking lot, and I understand, like, you and I have gone back and forth. We
So tomorrow I just park there.
parked there.
Okay.
I will also be submitting this letter to the state of Connecticut as well. Okay? Selectman Stern?
I'd like to make a motion to add this onto the agenda for discussion by the board, the Strand Theater parking area.
Sure, motion by Hart Stanek, second by Teresa Conroy. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Okay. Can I leave the rest of my stuff for my selectwoman's report? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Okay. Can I have a approval of the minutes from the November 21st, 2023 regular meeting?
So moved.
Motion by Al,
Second.
second by Trish. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions?
I'll abstain.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 5-0-1. Thank you. Approval of minutes from the November 21st special town meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Pat Lombardi, second by Al Bruno. All in favor? Discussion, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstains?
Abstain.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 5-0-1. Note, please note, Selectman Conrad's extension.
What's the second? I know Al was the first.
Pat Lombardi. Thank you. Have him, do we want to go to 165 Main Street now,
Yeah, sure. Why not?
since we added it to the agenda?
Sure.
All right. 165 Main Street, discussion regarding the Strand Theater at 165 Main Street.
Well, if Fred doesn't want to start, I'll
But go
start.
ahead, please.
I did have some notes on this myself because, I feel like I'm sitting in my predecessor's chair already when I say the Facebook communication is not the way we need to be doing town business. We heard from people tonight that they learned about this parking on Facebook between Anna Fanato and yourself
Nope, they learned because Teresa Oko Dunlap posted
on
on
the Culture and Arts.
the Culture and
Sure,
Arts, and
correct.
I said in there, I said, nope, that's not true.
But we're
That's
still
all.
in that quagmire of Facebook being the reasoning out there. And I was following that because I said, this is something that I should probably follow up at the select person's meeting. And I was concerned because you said initially that, we have the 12 spots along, or the Knights of Columbus has the 12 spots next to the building. Town of Seymour has the rest.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, that seemed like it was how I knew it. And then Ann Fanato comes back and states that they have an executed lease from November 20th, which was like 6 days before this. And my questioning was, first of all, where is the town's lease in this? Did we drop a ball? When does our lease expire for this lot?
What was that, from 2015?
The lease,
Yeah,
1995.
1995. We've had the lease since
No,
1995.
we've had the lease since 1990. The lease itself expired in 1995 when it was switched from DOT to Rights and Ways. And it was being used for the train station. So it has not been, the lease has not been renewed since 1995, but the town has been maintaining it since then.
So it's just been this open lease with
It's
no
a
end date?
state lot, Teresa.
Correct.
It's a state lot.
No, I understand that, yeah. But we had it with the permission from the state we work with.
Until it became the municipal lot for the train station. Then it was a train station's lot that the town
Correct.
maintained. So there was no need for us to have the lease. And then when Knights of Columbus started all their stuff, they said, well, you don't have the lease. I'm like, we do have the lease. The 12 parking spots came up because that is part of theirs. And it is still a municipal lot that is used for the train station. And then they said, we'll pay you X amount of money a month, and then they're gonna make it up by charging the tenants X amount. What do we charge? We charge like
$30
$30 a year,
twice a year, I think.
twice a year.
But you've been in discussions then with KFC.
Yeah, no, we've been in discussion with KC because of the maintenance of that parking lot. The
Okay.
maintenance of that parking lot.
So, this all fell out of the sky and everyone keeps saying, and this is an ongoing issue in downtown Seymour, as we know, is no parking, no parking, no parking. Now we just added this to the whole problem of no parking. Do we have any parking studies going on currently for downtown Seymour? Have we done any recently? And have we looked at how can we finally alleviate this problem?
So we have done parking studies. We are in the process of doing a parking study because of the old Rogo's building and the tenants. They said we wanted to do a parking study. We did a parking study probably about 5-6 years ago. When we turned First Street one way and we started parking diagonally. So that's when the parking study was done, So, and how are we going to eliminate it? Is that we are going to have this lease with the state. Our state rep is working with us. I've been in contact with them, and they are not, according to them, they are going to be working with us on this, fixing it, understanding that that parking lot is needed for the downtown area. So we will have something in writing from the state of Connecticut that says, in going forward, nobody is going to be taking this down. This is a municipal parking lot that is used by the town for the town's use as well as for Metro North.
Correct. Okay. But I think we still have to look at long-term what we're going to do for downtown Seymour.
Well, I did think of a revitalization plan and for the downtown area, and that may include a parking garage
Yeah, no, I think
somewhere.
it's probably time that we do look at that and go. Joe McGinney, I know we're not going to pull into conversation, but I'm sure he probably has a wealth of ideas that we could use and how we can get some more parking down here. Because it's not getting any better. And we want people to come downtown to our businesses. I mean, just, Jimmy's Place alone now is bringing in a lot of people. But they're not going to come and, drive around the block once if there's no parking.
There was talk, there's a rumor going around that the parking lot that goes with the vault may be up for sale, and the town will discuss with them, if that is true, that we will talk to them about purchasing that lot.
Right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, if I may. You just indicated to the young lady that she could park in the lot tomorrow. What if the Strand people, the Knights of Columbus, call a tow operator to tow the car? Can we, through the police department, notify the tow operators that they are not to tow from that lot?
No, we're not, sorry, Chief John Bucharati, Seymour PD. Since we are not intervening with the tows that go on, if there are any, if they're called there, we will go and try to dissuade them from towing. That's a stance we've taken to up until tonight. Now that this has been put out as public, we can actually, if somebody is hooking the car, please call us. We will go out and try to prevent your car from being hooked and towed.
So, and I was coming home, just going back to Selectwoman Conroy's. I was coming home from the CCM convention when I got that phone call, and I actually drove into the parking lot and I had my car, and I was trying to figure out how I can put that sandwich board into my little two-seater. And I actually had to put my roof down. And I'm like, that's not gonna work. So I had Public Works come and remove the signs. And it wasn't until her and I going back and forth, and I said, okay, you guys have a signed lease, send me the lease. So I'm still waiting to see this lease, and come to find out, there is no lease.
It's a very strange situation because they have an unequivocal, and we all know each other, right? And I certainly know this attorney very well, and I've known him a long time. And he made an unequivocal statement that we have a signed lease. And I asked for it, and I don't have it. And he recorded on behalf of the Knights a notice of the lease on the land records. On the other hand, we have unequivocal statements from over a 2-day period from the commissioner's office saying there is no executed lease. Can I reconcile that? I can't reconcile that, Teresa. I'm baffled by this. You know what I mean? It's not making sense to me. The commissioner's office, to Kurt's point, they were running up and down DOT trying to figure out if something happened here, and they went, and it's a very, what a large agency that is. So they went into the rights of way unit, and they went back to rails, because this had been shifted over to rails as a lot for rails. And as of the last communication, they confirmed that there is no executed lease. So that's our most current information. If it turns out there is an executed lease, then, we're going to be asking for other steps, and we're going to be taking other steps, hopefully. Off the top of my head, from my experience looking at similar type leases, although I find it very rare the state would ever lease a state lot to someone. There's usually in the DOT documents a termination clause. And I'm hopeful if there turns out to be a lease here, like one hand didn't know what the other hand was doing in DOT, if it turns out to be a situation like that, that the lease will include a termination clause, and we can prevail upon the commissioners to exercise that termination clause and get us back to square one. So I'm just saying that's one thought, but it's speculation right now, because I can't reconcile, is there a lease or isn't there a lease? That's a pretty basic thing. And,
Attorney Paterla, if they never give you a lease because they're giving you a difficult time, and they decide to start towing because that was one of my questions, first of all, was how is a municipal lot suddenly being leased to a private?
well, it's a state lot.
Well-
See, we keep losing sight of, we're saying
But
it's
the
a
state
municipal
wouldn't,
lot.
to your point,
Yeah.
lease it.
Well, it's
lease a
rare.
municipal
I
lot.
mean, I'm to the first selectwoman's point, I think it would be very unusual for the state to lease a public amenity to a private entity. It just strikes me as very unusual.
Right, but if you do not get a copy of the lease to reconcile
We're-
it, and someone parks there, if we find out that it's being towed, and they towed it erroneously because there is no lease, what is the recourse?
They would have to pay for, I would assume they'd have to pay for that tow and to have it back.
We're not in that
That's what I'm
chain.
assuming.
We're not in that chain. The town is not in that chain. We're not, it's not a town vehicle. If a town vehicle is parked there and gets towed, that's different. Then we have direct recourse. The individual, and that's what Chief Buccarati, I think, was speaking about, they'll try to intervene to dissuade anything from going on here.
Sorry, if I could just interrupt. One thing that everybody needs to know is that the police department is not towing your vehicle. If it gets
Yeah.
towed, this is not the town towing your vehicle.
That's my point.
The police department towing your vehicle.
Right.
It is a third party that's calling to have the car removed.
So,
So we shouldn't be recommending anybody park there without this
Nope.
reconciled yet.
nope, because I'm gonna read the email from Mary Ann Daly dated December 4th, 2023 at 4:39 PM with 34 seconds. It was to State Rep Nicole Claire DeStitria, her aide Bobby Bergren, Ann Kleza, who's also with the Connecticut state government. She says, Hi Rep Claritas Ditria and Bobby. I wanted to let you know, Rights of Way said there is a lease agreement, but it has not been executed yet. The signs are premature because they do not have the executed lease agreement. Rails has gotten back to me to let me know they need time to research this. I will follow up again with them tomorrow. They need to see if Rails has another agreement regarding this property. So Nicole sent that to us. And then going back and forth to Nicole, I sent my message to Mary Ann that said, good afternoon. I'm just following up on the voicemail that I left you on Friday. We have commuters that take Metro North. Just as I said before, Metro North train whose cars have been ticketed and threatened to be towed. We have elderly residents at 38 Columbus Street that use that parking lot to park their vehicles that have been threatened to be towed. We have patrons who visit our downtown restaurants and businesses that are being threatened to be towed. The business at 165 Main Street in Seymour, Connecticut stated they have a signed lease from the state of Connecticut. The town has leased this lot from the state of Connecticut. We have been maintaining this parking lot from replacing the curbs, filling the potholes, paving and striping, litter picking the parking lot, remove the snow, and keep the parking lot safe for walking and safely lit. I was made aware that the town no longer has a lease with the state of Connecticut. This came as a surprise to us at the town hall as we've been maintaining the property all along as we had in the past. The town uses this parking lot as a municipal lot, and as I stated above, for rail commuters, downtown businesses, and elderly renters at 38 Columbus Ave. The town is interested in renewing the lease, as without this lease, we no longer be able to sustain the businesses downtown, nor will we be able to grow our downtown economic development plan. Our downtown will be a ghost town. I ask the state of Connecticut to please reject the lease from 165 Main Street and reinstate the lease in the town of Seymour. Please feel free to contact me. So Mary Ann Deli sends me another email, says, I received your email and expressing interest in the town of Seymour renewing their lease and with the Department of Transportation with the property at 165 Main Street. I had forwarded your letter to the Rights of Ways Division and the Legal Division. She's waiting their response for that. So just to let you know, there is no executed lease there. As far as the state of Connecticut is concerned, it is not a private parking lot. I would take that, I'm not an attorney, but I would take that as that is still a municipal lot.
I'm just gonna say a few other words, and just that I am disgusted with the Knights of Columbus. This should not happen, it should not have happened silently with everybody surprised to put everybody in this quandary. Especially because the Knights of Columbus is well aware of the parking issues that we already have. I know I get on a grandstand every once in a while, but it's infuriating, and Fernando should be ashamed of himself.
Attorney Stanek?
If I may return to the towing issue, if I may inquire of the chief.
You may.
Chief, when a vehicle is towed by a private tow truck company, you're notified, your department's notified?
Usually not.
Okay, because I know that one time that was a practice here in Seymour.
Usually not. If it's a private company a private person that's towing off of I'm going to just say private for now because we don't know that the lease exists. If somebody were to tow off of a private lot, we would know.
Okay.
Not normally at all.
Because I know at one time that was the practice,
No,
because
it's
my car is towed, and I don't know why it was towed. I'm going to call you and say my car's been
It's a
stolen.
courtesy that the tow truck
Okay.
operators usually would do. They would call us and let us know, but there's nothing that requires them to do.
Do we know who typically tows vehicles in this community, which,
We do, and we can make some phone calls to the tow companies and let them know that, of this issue, and if they were to get a call from.
that's where I was going.
Yeah.
Can we give notice to these
We can.
companies, these gas stations, tow operators, that there's a dispute here?
It won't prevent him from
No.
calling someone farther away, but
No,
at least the
but
businesses that we
exactly.
do, that we routinely work with, we can notify them of the situation.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Mr. Lombardi? Selectman Lombardi?
This is really very disappointing. Very disappointing. I was a parking enforcement officer for 5 years downtown. And I know how hard I worked to enforce the regulations. A lot of people didn't like that. Called me names, they spat at me, they yelled at me, they cursed me. But along the way, we made a lot of improvements. Mr. McGanny related to him, okay? I believe that work was paid for by the state, but our Public Works Department did the actual paving and restriping of that lot. We also did not have any defined parking on Main Street. The GOT was brought in with permission from Mr. Miller, who was the first selectman at that time. They came down, they spotted the spaces, okay, and our Public Works Department, okay, did the actual striping. So, I guess there's good and bad, but for me, you know, the bad is that this is a travesty for not only folks coming in to town to do their business, to go into our restaurants, but for our residents that are living on Columbus Street, okay, and cannot afford to be walking these long distances. I just hope we get it resolved in a positive manner.
Thank you.
I just have one follow-up.
Go ahead.
I just want to be clear on this. Just because you said to the residents that go ahead and park there. Now, if their car should get towed, who's on the hook for getting it back?
I would,
I mean, we're,
I'll pay for that.
well, I'm just wondering, I mean, if, you know, you're the office
I
and
will
this board
personally
saying,
pay for that myself.
but is that the way we should be doing it?
No, that's what but we're working with people who will not work with us. So to get a resident their car back, I'll pay for it out of my own pocket.
It's probably not the best solution, but we
It's
might want
not.
to think about having a solution to that.
Well, oh, you want the town to pay for it? Maybe. Maybe we'll do it
We
that way.
might have to,
We may have to.
Right.
Right? But,
and then go back after the Knights of Columbus.
exactly, no matter,
We'll
Right.
recoup it.
we'll
Correct.
do it that way.
Right. Thank you.
Go ahead. Oh, State Rep Nicole Claire, hold on.
I want to make sure, I think honestly what happened, this may have been an issue with the rail department versus the means department, and they didn't speak. There was an issue with these leases years ago that the state at one point canceled the lease in error and then reinstated it. I just think the departments are talking to each other, and we know that's an issue in state government. I'm hoping as they delve deeper into this, they'll realize that it was just an error and it was an oversight and that they shouldn't have sold it to Mr. Fonato's property. So hopefully we'll get some more answers within the next couple of days.
Thank you.
I just had a question.
Then you, Fred.
Rich, can you do us a favor and look into what we would do if folks do get towed, and if we end up having to pay that fee, can we go after the Knights of Columbus for reimbursement?
Yeah.
For basically causing this
We'll
issue, because
take-
for them, we wouldn't be dealing with this.
We'll take a look at that. We're taking a look at other issues too.
I'm sure you are, but hate to
That-
heap another one in there, but
Yeah,
I think it's been brought up tonight, so I would love for that to get looked
Yeah.
into. I don't need to personally get an answer myself, but I would think that our first select woman would benefit from
Yeah.
it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Fred, did you have something?
Yes, if I may inquire of Councilor Petula. Is there any basis for injunctive relief in favor of the town of Seymour?
Well-
Perhaps on a theory that the lease had expired, but it continued on a month-to-month basis? I don't know what's in that 1995
Wow.
lease.
It's a very, very old lease document.
Yes.
And
I'm just trying to think of.
so there are other options. We have filed a bill of discovery with the court.
Okay,
We have caused that bill of discovery to be served. We are looking for all sorts of information concerning the Strand. We are looking for a copy of the lease. We are looking for copies of correspondence between anybody on behalf of 165 Main Street, Inc. and the state. We're trying to get to the bottom of this. So that was actually filed in court on Friday.
very good.
So, I mean, this erupted on Friday, and by the end of the day, Friday, we had filed for a bill of discovery. The court did in fact give us a date, and there's a status conference that's going to be held on December 21
Very good.
with, I believe, Judge Hiller. So it's, you know, we are taking very aggressive steps to try to get to the bottom of it. It would be so much easier if they have a signed lease, if they just presented it. I mean, you know?
Right.
But if, for whatever reason, that doesn't seem to be forthcoming, and we have state officials saying there isn't one, but I do know what a big agency that is, so we're trying to cover our bases all the way around.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that action's being taken. This is certainly very disconcerting. Thank you.
Any further discussion on 165 Main Street? Can you take questions from the public? No. We have to wait to public comment at the end, I'm sorry. All right. Discussion and possible action regarding the refurbishment of Seymour Fire Department 19...
Madam First,
Appointments.
please.
Item 6, appointments. Holy crap, that was a long one. Sorry. All right, so in your pack, well, in front of you, we have a long list of appointments. Double-sided.
Madam First Selectwoman,
Yes.
I just looked at this list. I haven't had a chance to review it. I'm going to ask for a 5-minute recess.
Okay. Yes. If anybody's gonna.
I'd like to make a motion to take a 5-minute recess.
Yep,
Second.
discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you very
welcome.
much.
At
That's here.
Their appointment's by me.
Where's the second one?
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, I saw it.
I'm sorry.
Why is that new?
It's getting at the appointments. Are we ready? ADA coordinator. Kurt Miller. It's an appointment for 2 years. Have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Pat, second by Trish. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Assistant to the First Select Woman, Steve Ditria. It's an appointment for 2 years, from 2023 to 2025. Do you have a motion? Motion by Trish,
Second.
second by Alberno. Board of Selectmen,
Got to take the motion.
take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Board of Selectmen Deputy, Alberno, elected 2 years, 2023 to 2025. Motion by Trish,
Seconded.
second by Lombardi, Pat Lombardi. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Noes? Abstains?
Abstain.
Motion carries 5-0-1. Please note Al Bruno's abstention. Board of Select Person Secretary Fred Stanek, elected 2 years, 2023 to 2025. Motion by
Second.
Trish, second by Al Bruno. Discussion?
If I may,
Yes.
you will have to enlighten me as to what the secretary of this board does exactly.
Go ahead.
Your guess would be as good as ours. It's something that we've always named.
I know it's in the charter.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would think that the duties default to what Robert's rules state.
Correct.
So we need to, I think, identify what exactly the secretary is supposed to do by looking at Robert's rules.
There we go.
So I think we should talk about that at some point. But I will abstain on the vote.
Okay. Chair votes aye. Motion carries 5-0-1. Please note Selectman Stanek's abstention. Board of Select Persons Award Subcommittee, Al Bruno, Fred Stanek, and I gotta do them by one. Al Bruno, all in favor?
You can group them.
I could?
Yes.
Oh, good. Award Subcommittee, Al Bruno, Fred Stanek, Trish Danko. All in favor?
So moved.
Motion by Teresa, thank you.
Seconded.
Second by Pat. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Noes? Abstains? Motion carries. Chair votes aye. Motion carries 4-0-2. Please note Al Bruno and Fred Stanek's abstention. Meeting moderator, Kurt,
You do the same for these as well.
Kurt Miller, Phil Willoughby, Steve Ditria. Have a motion? Motion by Trish,
Seconded.
second by Pat Lombardi. Discussion?
How is Phil?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Motor Vehicle Hearing Officer, Karen Fisher, appointed 2 years, 2023 to 2025.
Move to appoint Karen Fisher.
Motion by Fred. Second by Trish. Discussion?
What is the motor vehicle hearing officer?
So glad you asked that question. The motor vehicle hearing, it's not like the appeals, but I guess if there's,
So I
Go
would,
ahead.
if municipal tickets are issued and the like, and they are appealed, there will be a hearing officer who will hear that matter. It's like a citation hearing officer, which is probably the technical name for this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? Chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Municipal Agent, Dawn Marie Hunter, it's an appointment for 2 years, 2023 to 2025.
So moved.
Motion by Teresa,
Second.
second by Al Bruno. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Noes? Abstention? Chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Ordinance Hearing Officer Karen Fisher, appointment 2 years, 2023 to 20.
Municipal agent.
I did municipal agent.
Yes.
You can do both ordinances.
Ordinance Hearing Officer Karen Fisher, Stephen Kulas. So moved. Motion by Trish,
Second.
second by Teresa. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Town Council, Bergman Moses, PC. Town Council, I can't do this one.
Yeah, these you have to do.
Yep. Town Council, Bergman Moses.
For 2 years,
Yep.
expiring in 2025, so
Motion by Trish,
Second.
second by Pat Lombardi. Discussion.
What does the town council do?
I've been trying to figure that out. One of these days, I'm gonna stop practicing and I'll have it down right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, 6-0. Town Council, WPCA, Ben Proto. Appointment for 2 years, 2023, 2025.
So moved.
Motion by Al,
second.
second by Trish Tinka. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Town Council Special, Marino, Zabel, and Schellenberg.
Schellenberg.
I got it right. 2 years, 2023 to 2025.
So moved.
Motion by Pat,
Second.
second by Al Bruno. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Town Council Bonding, Shipman Goodman LLP. Appointment for 2 years, 2023, 2025.
So moved.
Motion by Teresa,
Second.
second by Al Bruno. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. Please note, the count is 501. Please note Selectman Danka's abstention. Town Council for Labor, Land Use, nope.
Yes, you can do that.
Land Use Boards and Workers' Comp, Bertram Moses, 2 years, 2023, 2025.
Move the appointment.
Second.
Motion by Fred, second by Al Bruno. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Town Engineer, B&B Engineering, for 2 years, 2023, 2025.
So moved.
Motion by Teresa Conroy,
Second.
second by Al Bruno. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Town Engineer for Road and Drainage, B&B Engineering, Brian Asteriak, 2
Move the
years.
appointment.
Motion by Pat, second by Trish. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Town Engineer, WPCA, Navis and Young.
So moved.
Motion by Pat, second by Teresa. All, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries. Treasurer Kurt Miller, appointed 2 years, 2023, 2025. Understand the treasurer has to sign the checks along with the first select person in order to have these checks sent out.
So moved.
Motion by Pat, do I have a second?
We need to have some discussion. I'll second it.
Second by Al Bruno, discussion. Go ahead.
I haven't looked at the charter, but now that Kurt is a full-time employee of the community, is this the best individual to have also be treasurer?
He is there every day to sign the checks.
No, I'm talking about under the charter. not-
Under the
not
charter, it
convenience of being next
Under
door.
the charter, there is no regulation as to who can, if it cannot be a town employee or not. Attorney Petula, since you have the charter there.
So I just want to specifically, what's the question?
I
If I
think
may.
The question
selectmen,
is whether, as Mr. Miller, as the chief administrative officer of the community, can also be the treasurer of Seymour. I don't want to approve something and then have it be against charter.
Just give me a moment. Maybe if you could pass that and move on to something else, and we'll come back to that. Just give me a second.
I wish I'd had this list before the meeting. This is not right to put us in this position to talk about this without having the list
okay,
of
let's-
appointments before the meeting.
Okay, so we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna rescind my motion.
Me too.
So how about we just table all the appointments until the next meeting?
Well, you already voted a bunch of them.
Leave those in and we table the rest. Is that okay?
What positions need to be appointed immediately for the
You
efficient
continue.
running of government?
Right, because the terms are
Yeah,
expired.
but my-
No, all these are all new
You continue
appointments,
until
2023 to 2025.
replacement.
But there might be some positions that for the government to
Continue.
continue and operate efficiently, we have to take action today.
The charter just says we have to,
No, I know what,
right.
I know, the charter doesn't say we have to. Well, at the first meeting, you were supposed to appoint the deputy first and the secretary. You did that.
Let's just table our appointments and redo them so everybody has a chance to look at them over again. How's that?
Just table this section and move on, and then we can come back to it.
So my question is, what are we doing with the ones that you guys already voted?
They're already voted on, they're,
So don't
they're
worry
done.
about it, so the ones that are, gotcha, thank you.
But we're gonna, I think,
So is there a
I don't
motion? I made the motion for Kurt. Was
For
there a
Kurt?
second?
There was a second, Al was the
So
second.
Al
Then-
Bruno and Pat
But you guys
rescinded
rescinded
his.
it. Right.
And Al Bruno rescinded his.
Yes,
So there is no discussion.
okay.
I think we should just hold off on
Town
the rest
treasurer
of the
may not also.
appointments.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you agree this way? Everybody has the time to look at it over, think about it, and go from there.
Why don't we table for the
So,
moment and
if-
Rich can
if I-
see what
I-
we
I
need to
can-
act on tonight?
I can give you the answer to your question on the town treasurer. 12.17 of the town charter describes the duties of the treasurer and the background of the treasurer. The only prohibition that it has is the town treasurer may not also hold the position of finance director. So the fact is, he could be anything else, or she could be anything else. So there you have it.
okay, so in Mr. Miller's current position, are there absolutely any finance duties involved?
No.
Okay, thank you.
But to Selectman Bruno's comment, it's not fair to the rest of this board who was just given these appointments to list tonight to be put on the spot to okay them. And in turn, I agree with Mr. Bruno on that. I think we should take all the appointments back and have everybody have the chance to review them and look at them, even the
No,
ones that
I think we're
no.
fine with the ones that were already approved, Anne Marie.
And,
I think
you know, I'm
the
just gonna
purpose is that this should have been given to us before the meeting.
We were
That's my
still
point.
waiting for people to okay.
I
say
don't know what
yes
to
on
tell
the
you
committee.
then wait till the next meeting. You gotta give people more than 3 hours to read it.
Like I said, let's table all the appointments until the next
I'm not
meeting,
rescinding any other appointments. I'm not gonna be here all night doing that. I'm not doing that.
until tomorrow. Next on the list. Next on the agenda.
Well, never mind. I'll
Discussion and take possible action regarding the refurbishment of the Seymour Fire Department 1994 Peterbilt SS tanker and using ARPA funds. In your packet, you have the pre-approval for the New England Fire Department Apparatus Corporation to Seymour Fire Chief Chris Edwards, 140 Botsford Road, to refurbish the fire truck. It is a total of $2,463.65. Thank you. I got it, perfect.
I gotta find it in the packet now, that I may miss.
We need a motion to approve the refurbishment cost? Yes. I'll make a motion to approve $302,463.65 for the refurbishment of Seymour Fire Department 1994 Peterbilt S&S tanker using ARPA funds.
Seconded.
Motion by Trish, second by Pat, under discussion. This is for the tanker. This is I have Fire Chief Chris Edwards with us here if he has any questions. It's to remove all the accessories, to mount the tank and put in all the wiring that is needed. Chief Edward, can you come up and explain so everybody has a clear understanding as to what this is for?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Edwards, Seymour Fire Chief on First Street. This is our tanker truck on the hill. It's our water supply for everything from Great Hill North, Thomason Road, Bushbrook, all that area. It's leaking. It's 30-something years old. The tank's leaking, so we went out. We sent it out to bid twice, got nothing back. So went out, it's two different quotes. One came in at $380, the other one came in at $303. So we met with the vendor, we were very happy with the vendor on what they're gonna offer us. So I submitted it in. This is gonna replace, I don't know if you guys ever seen it, the big tank on the back of the oil truck. So it's gonna replace that whole tank. It's starting to crack at the seams, just from years of holding 3,000 gallons of water since 1994. We originally approved the ARPA funds back, I don't know, probably beginning of last year, and last year rather. And we're just getting around after all the bids came in to get it approved.
So, and just to give this board a heads up, sorry. How many selectmen ago, I think it was under John O'Toole, where he purchased 10 fire trucks all at one time?
Yeah, 4.
4.
Yeah.
4 fire, yeah, not 10. 4 fire trucks all at one time.
We don't have 10 fire trucks. I wish I did, but I don't.
Between both hills, maybe.
Where would you put them?
Exactly. 4 fire trucks all at one time. So those fire trucks are starting to come to the end of the life. So the board is going to start seeing requests from the fire department on fire trucks and as to why we may possibly need to buy them down the road in the future.
So, yeah, just so you know, I'll be back up the first of the year after the holidays. I have 3 or 4 plans all wrote up with different avenues, so you just know what's coming.
Yep.
If I could, the first meeting in August, this board reaffirmed $350,000 of ARPA funds, ARPA number 41, for the purchase of this vehicle.
Yeah.
So it is well within budget.
Chief, I just have a question for you. What is, and you may be able to answer, you may not, okay. What is the expected life expectancy of the new tank?
The new tank is, we're going away from the all stainless steel tank, so we're going to a poly insert, basically a plastic insert wrapped in stainless. So you're looking at another 30, 40 years. The truck itself is a 1994, but it has about 10,000 miles on it, and it's in pristine shape. The only problem, the reason we're going this route is because the tank is starting to leak.
Yep, absolutely, no problem. Thank you.
This is the cheapest option to bring for the town and the most feasible.
We appreciate that. Thank you. Olin?
I just
Go ahead.
have a technical question, since it's new language for me, not for you, and maybe the viewers. ARPA funds, what are they?
The American Rescue Plan. That was money that each town, city was given
Okay,
from the government to use towards, because we were hurt during the financial time. We weren't making money, you know, people were hurt, not hurt physically, but financially. The town's receivables were much less. So the ARPA money is to help the towns recoup some of their money.
and do you know how much we got?
$4,827,533.
$4,800,000,
$27,533.
and do you know how much we've used of that so far?
How much has been used or how much has
Yeah,
been
allocated,
appropriated?
yeah.
Allocated?
Yeah.
$4million902,657.34. But we are running $140,803.46 below budget.
Because things that we
So
had
that's where it
figured at a
comes from.
higher cost came in much lower.
All right, good, thank you.
Okay,
hold
so
on.
with that, could we have an updated ARPA sheet for our January meeting?
You will, after these three transfers, or after these three items?
Yeah, 'cause-
You'll have an updated one
Yeah,
for
just
January.
because we haven't had one in a while.
Yep.
We haven't done any projects.
No, I understand
Since
that.
then, so this will be updated with these three projects.
Great.
And it'll be good for Teresa to have, so she can say,
Yep.
give the money.
So it looks, for those of you who remember, it's this.
Yeah.
Selectman Sinek.
If I may, I call this money the COVID money. It's
That's
the-
what I do.
Sure, okay.
the one good thing about COVID, because we benefited greatly in this town. with
We were
these
able to get a
funds.
lot of projects done
A
with
lot
this
of
money,
projects,
yes.
a lot of equipment, a lot of assistance to the emergency personnel, the moving of Central Office of Board of Education. And if we, is the $100,000 we're in the budget, has that been allocated?
Yes.
Perhaps we could buy a scoreboard for French Memorial Park. A thought for consideration. I'm getting a different look from Madam First Selectman. Now when she doesn't agree with me, she gives me a certain look. But tonight she's smiling.
President was well played.
It's a thought, Mr. Sinek. I thought about that when Mike mentioned
I
that.
hope I did not strike out on that.
Oh, that was good. That was a good one.
Wow.
Wow.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while, you come out with one that's pretty good. Can I have a motion to approve?
So,
Do we have a motion?
oh, we did.
Oh, we have to vote.
Yes,
Hold on.
we
We have to
discussed.
vote. Sorry.
We have a motion and a second.
We do.
Yes.
We just need to-
Sorry.
I motioned,
Uh,
Pat seconded.
Yes, you've got a motion. Trish was the motion. Pat was the second.
We just need to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Next one is discussion and possible action regarding the purchase of a new commercial gear wash machine for the Seymour Fire Department pursuant to Public Act 22-139 using ARPA funds. 22-139 is the Firefighters Cancer Act. And what it is this new act is requiring firefighters who were once required to wash their jackets annually is now required to do it twice a year, as well as log when these garments are being washed. The wash machine at the Citizens is very small. Chief brought to our attention that Great Hill Hose does not have one, so we thought that each department should have one. Great Hill has one, and Citizens has one. Go ahead, Chief.
That was very close. Very close.
Thanks.
So, in July of 2023, the state introduced a project bill for firefighters with occupational cancer to be covered under workman's comp. So, by the time they filed that,
You have all this in your.
Yep.
yep. By the time they finalized all that and got everything all set, it went in act October 1st of 2023. So, we never had regulations on how to wash our gear other than NFPA, which we follow pretty much after the fire, get the person in 12. And then the department, we had SOP where you wash once a year, we log it. So now the state and NFPA changed, now it's twice a year. You gotta wash it no matter what, after every fire, after every car fire, anytime it gets soiled. If we don't have that, we don't do it, we don't document it. If, God forbid, somebody comes down with cancer, if I can't prove that they followed every step, they will not be covered under this bill through the state. There is some other stuff that goes with it besides just washing that we're changing, that has to go with it, with physicals and cancer screenings and stuff, which is taken care of in my operational budget. We pretty much do all that already. Really, it's the laundry of it that changed. So, our washer and dryer isn't NFPA compliant anymore. They were put in 1998, I believe. Pat probably remembers more than me. They're very small. They don't have the G-forces to pull out the extraction of the carcinogens. So we went bargain hunting. We're only buying one for the department, so everybody from the hill would come down to downtown, wash their stuff. Because of the price of it, it's big enough to do 3 full sets at a time. I'm sorry, 3 to 4 full sets, and we can dry in the dryer 6 sets. So last month I rewrote our policy on it. It was approved on how we're gonna wash it, timeline, stuff like that. Next step is just to get the washer and dryer in. It's all computerized, goes to the cloud, it tells you when the firefighter washed it, who it was, and everything else to make the paperwork on the back end a little bit easier. That's really it. The bid came off the state bid list. It happens to be the same guy that installed our first one back in 1998. He's still in business, so that's a good thing. And I believe Kirk has all the info for you.
And through you, Madam First Selectwoman, for the funding of this, since we had $350,000 allotted for the Tanker 19 refurbish, we wanted to transition that money but keep it within needs of our first responders. So that is where the roughly $27,045 will come from. And that will be to Daniels Equipment Company, as you have in front of you, the quote. So that will be edited ARPA number 41.
Thank you. I'll make a
41A,
motion,
I guess.
I'll make a motion for the purchase of a new commercial gear washer for the Seymour Fire Department pursuant to Public Act number 22-139 using ARPA funds in the amount of $27,045.
Seconded.
Motion by Trish, second by Teresa. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
The chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Thank you, 6-0. Okay.
I just want to thank you guys again. We wouldn't be able to accomplish what we did in the last year and a half without you guys backing me and the Board of Chiefs. We've really taken a step forward with the purchase of the new equipment that we got between the air packs and everything else. We really took a leap forward, and from my board to your board, I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Discussion and possible action regarding the purchase of a new 24-channel Nextlock 740GX recorder for the Seymour Police Department using ARPA funds. Chief Buccarati, why don't you come up here and explain this, please? What's that show where they come down and you have to guess the price is right? Price is right, that's it.
Door number one.
That's the first thing. You're door number one.
No, go ahead. Hi, Chief.
Hi, good evening, everybody. So, as you may or may not be aware, we have a statutory requirement to record all 911 calls and certain other calls, to the police department. The machine that we have now is well over 10 years old. It is at its complete end of life. It is, the company is no longer manufacturing parts for it. It is also a cybersecurity risk because it runs an older version of Windows that is just not patched anymore. So it's a vulnerable point in our network. What I'm looking to do with this machine is bring us up to where we should be. This probably should have been done 7 or 8 years ago. There was an oversight when they were redesigning the dispatch center. It was never done. It came to my attention, and this is something that we do need. Right now, only one machine or 2 machines in the police department can access the call. So I can't even listen to phone calls on it because my machine won't connect to it. So, reviewing 911 calls, keeping them, complying with the statute, listening to phone calls, it's a valuable investigatory tool, and it's also, again, required. So, this would modernize our center.
Make a motion for the purchase of a new 24-channel Nextlock 740DX recorder for the Seymour Police Department using ARPA funds in the amount of $23,787.24.
Correct.
Second.
Motion by Trish, second by Pat Lombardi. Discussion?
Just under discussion now for a second. So this would be listed as ARPA number 41B. So again, we would be using the funds saved from the Taker 19 refurbishment, which would push that 350,000 allocation to 353,295.65. So it will be 3,295.65 over what was initially put aside. But as we had mentioned before, we're currently 140,803.46 under budget.
So we'll just make those adjustments.
So, Chief Buccarati, do these, if I understand from your current comments, have a lifespan of 10 years?
Depends on the system. This should last us at least another 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
At least.
So are you going to make sure something like this is
Yes.
in your strategic plan? You knew where, you
Yes,
knew what
I
I
know
was gonna ask
exactly where
before
you're
I
going.
asked
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Thank you.
No, we'll come up with a replacement plan.
Right, but the
Thank you.
technology would also play
Change.
into that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion
Thank you
carries
very much.
6-0. Just, if I could, no, not you, sorry. If I could, sorry, Nicole had sent me an email, and she wanted to point out to me that in an email, it's regarding 165, so sorry if I'm jumping out of order, the state parking lot, this came from Mary Ann Daly as well, that states that we reached out to the Office of Rail yesterday to determine whether or not they have an active lease agreement in place and are awaiting response. The good news is that the new tenant is technically not under lease, and we can respond that it is under lease agreement with the town of Seymour, once they have confirmation from Rails, okay? So I just want to make sure everybody was up to date on that. Can I have a motion to go into,
Clear that right up.
It didn't for you.
No.
what?
Which will work on.
Make a motion to go into executive session at 8:56.
Pending litigation regarding tax appeal of the Connecticut Properties, Tri-Town Plaza, and in that meeting will be the Board of Select Members, CAO Kurt Miller, and Town Attorney Rich Bertula. Stephen, could you please make sure that the video is off? And Carol, could you please make sure that the tape recorder is off? And could everybody please shut off their microphones?
Could you?
Okay. Discussion and possible action regarding the tax appeal depending.
No.
We skipped that.
No action.
Tax refunds and abatements. In front of you, and it was in front of your packet, is a tax refunds and abatement from Christina Swanson, the assistant tax collector, our tax collector's office. Please motion to approve as a motion by Trish Danka,
Seconded.
second by Pat Lombardi. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Correspondences or no correspondences? Public comment? Public comment? Public comments? No public comments. Okay. I will finish my selectwoman's report if you don't mind. Parade went off great, turned out a great turnout for the residents and the participants. I was at the CCM convention. The staff went, there's a lot of positive information. It was a great team building experience. Until I got into Seymour and saw the signs and we weren't even going there. We will be posting the planning and zoning enforcement officer's position. This is a full-time position and it is budgeted for. We posted for the accounts payable position in the finance to replace the person who left close to a year ago. As we've been trying to get by with less staff than originally budgeted. As I said in our last meeting, Teresa, you weren't here, Doug Thomas in our finance department, our finance director is out on medical leave. Jason Vieira was named as the interim finance director for the town. So with Jason moving into Doug's position as the interim, that accounts payable position, they're down to a down person again. The budget process for fiscal year 2025 is going on. We have looked at a new budget software that I think will be beneficial to the town, both in explanation-wise and from people looking at it and reviewing it, they can see where the money is going. Once I have more information on this program, I will present it to this board. The annual budget summit with myself, the senior staff, and the Board of Ed is scheduled for early January. Fiscal year 23 audit is in its final stages, and as it looks now, we are going to look to have a small surplus. As for fiscal year 24, the budget season that we are in now, we are training on budget. I already discussed the 165 Main Street. I am working with code enforcement and town council office to address the outstanding situations at 23 Argonne Terrace, the old Trestle Tavern building, and the old Rogel's building. So hopefully I'll be able to give a report on that maybe at the next couple meetings. We will soon be receiving a report from the Bungay School Needs Assessment Committee as to their findings and their suggestions. The report will be presented to this board to discuss, maybe in January.
We will be ready to discuss it with the board on December 17th, if you wish, if you want to push it to next month. Our charge was to report to this board by December 31st. We will be ready on the 17th.
Let's push it off until the January meeting. This way, we're not
Okay,
rushing.
the first meeting in January?
I think the first meeting in January,
Okay.
which is January 2nd.
It's going to be a short PowerPoint presentation and a written report.
Okay, and then there'd be the January 2nd meeting.
Okay.
Okay. The high school gymnasium floor is in the process of being removed, except for when they removed the top floor, they found an issue with the concrete subfloor that needs to be addressed. This issue is being addressed directly with the Board of Ed, and the vast majority of this is being covered by insurance. As I mentioned last night, we'll discuss in January making changes to the way people pay their car taxes in Seymour to provide the residents with some relief to them. We have our first meeting with Public Works and the vendor to discuss an All Abilities Park for Seymour, and we will be looking into grants to fund that for the park. The town currently has 9 properties in court due to tax foreclosures. Once the foreclosures go through, we will do a tax sale on the properties to get them back on the books and added to our grand list. I just want to say congratulations to Carol. Her daughter Samantha had a baby boy, Brian Christopher, and we welcome him to Seymour.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that is it for the first select woman's report. On to the select person's public comment. We will start with select woman Conroy.
Sure about that. Well, thank you,
Nice
thank
to
you.
be first.
Right? It is nice.
I'm usually
I
last.
know, I saw that. Yeah, that's all right. Well, I want to thank you
We
all for
normally go-
welcoming me.
All time.
I didn't think I'd be getting back into politics ever again. And when I was approached to run, you know, that fire is always in your belly. If you're a Conroy, it's there. So I look forward to serving on this board. You know, I might ask some questions that you think I should have known before, but I'm going to be honest, I probably didn't open my mouth about those questions before when I said, what is this position? And if I'm questioning it, I know a lot of other people are. So it's not to be, you know, like obstructionist or anything, but when it says, you know, what's that zoning enforcement or whatever job, I really do need to know these things now.
Absolutely.
To the team, I always
Right?
feel like I'm asking a stupid question.
Right, and that's why I wanted to start out there with all those. We have a great town. I have a lot of good ideas that I would like to bring forward and work with. First, I'd like to abstain from the candies because I am on this big weight loss thing, so.
No problem.
And one of my things is, I love candy, trust me, I love the candy. But that's one of the things I'd like to work on, you know, with my public health background, is to get Seymour to be a healthier town. So I do have some ideas that I'd like to bring forward to work with. A lot of them don't or won't incur funds, but some of them will need some money for, so
So that's what grants are for, Teresa.
that's not what that whole scoreboard's going for right there. I do want to say our town does a great job, though, during the holiday seasons with the culture and arts this past weekend, the holiday parades, you know, it's what makes Seymour special. And I'm just, you know, proud of our town. Sometimes, though, when I drive in from our different venues into town, I look at it and there's a little swear word under my breath. I say that it's not looking the best way that when we drive in. I know we could be doing better. And when you say grants, you know, there are things we can get, like for arts and, you know, the state of Connecticut should be paying us to drive underneath Route 8. They put that ugly eyesore in our town. Why can't we get them to do things like murals on it and make it more of an attractive place? So I think it's time that, you know, the resources that I've learned over the years, I'm more than willing to go to bat. I guess I'm turning into my mother a little bit. You know, I'm not afraid to go out there and fight and try to make things better for the residents of Seymour here.
Well, that's a good thing.
So, you know, election time's over, we're all working together, and I still will question because I'm still my mother's daughter, and that's what I was brought up to do. So thank you.
You're welcome. Selectman Stanek?
Thank you. Now that we have newly elected and almost appointed boards and new officers will be appointed, I think that we should conduct an FOI seminar, an FOI 101 for all board chairmen and chairpersons. I'd be willing to help out. Maybe Rich wants to be involved. But I think we should, basically, to the extent we can require, I think the chairpersons of the boards need to be educated a little bit more than just knowing the difference between regular and special meetings.
That's a great
I'm not saying extensive background, but some more background than most of them have. I've seen some agenda that violate FOI. We've got to be careful.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I was just speaking to Kurt and Stephen and Dee, that when we appoint our new, you know, our new volunteer boards, the commissions and the boards, that we make sure, if it's in the charter, we give them what their mission is that's directly in the charter, so they're not veering off to, on a way that's not part of what their charter was, their mission is to do. So, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
But I think, you know, board chairpersons, definitely anybody can attend, but board chairpersons need to know that agendas have to be specific, and the agenda need to apprise the public with definitiveness as to what the item is all about. Something like new business and old business doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
Great.
OS.
I was going to talk about the school needs study, the Bungay School Needs Study Committee. You already mentioned that, but we were just about complete with our work. We're going to meet next Thursday to approve a PowerPoint for presentation to this board and a report.
Okay.
And I think it could be an exciting project. We've got some new ideas. So hopefully this board will continue to support that study and hopefully appoint a building committee after the first year. That's it for now. I have some other ideas I wanted to talk about, but this meeting's dragged on, so I'll wait till next time.
It's been a long day, right?
Thank you.
Yes. Bruno.
Just wanted to talk about a quote in the letter that the KFC alleges that, I forget what her name was in public comment. She was from the 38 Columbus.
Pia
McGann.
Yep.
And one of our people in public comment mentioned it. It says, "The Knights of Columbus claim that the town failed to meet their obligations in good faith and that the lot is required for patrons of the Strand Theater property." That's the second to last paragraph in the letter. Anne Marie has clearly disputed that. I just want to make it clear that this is an allegation and a statement. That doesn't make it true. So I want to make sure our folks here are watching at home, just because somebody said it doesn't make it true.
Correct.
So we have factors to the contrary that our first selectwoman has already put on the record. The other thing I want to talk about is our Santa event downtown Saturday night. Great time. Haven't done that in a while. We handed out cookies for the Republican Town Committee table, and I don't think we even got even the signage wasn't even up, so I don't think anybody even knew. But we had a blast handing them out. Anne Marie, my wife Kristen, Nicole, Claire Ditria, Steve Ditria, John Duke, and myself had a great time handing that stuff out for the kids. It was fun, and then Santa came off the train. Kids went crazy. It was a great turnout, fun night. Streets were closed. So, kudos to everybody who put that together. That was a wonderful town event. It was good to see people out.
That was our culture and arts, and they do a wonderful, wonderful job with that. They even had that petting zoo in the parking lot and the pony rides.
I heard very positive comments about the petting zoo, how great it was.
Kids loved it. Thanks.
Christmas holiday parade was a lot of fun. I did miss the event with Santa coming downtown because I had another holiday event to attend, but heard good things, and I agree, Culture and Arts always does a great job at that, and how many towns can say Santa's coming to town off the train, so I think it's fantastic. I had some other things I wanted to say, and I'm so tired I have forgotten, so we'll just reserve them for next meeting,
If you can remember.
all right.
Just a couple things. First of all, to welcome you to the board, Teresa. And I look forward to working with you. Just on one of your comments regarding the murals, I'm working with EDC and Sheila O'Malley, and EDC, I guess, has, in coordination with Sheila, contracted with a company that will come in and look and analyze, and I kind of gave them a few ideas of what I thought would be appropriate, and how they prioritize it will be totally up to them, and where the funding will be coming from. I expressed my personal concern that I would hope that when the funding becomes available, whether it be from the town or state or grant money or whatever, that we get that trestle area by the Trestle Tavern in South Main Street addressed first. It absolutely is deplorable. And if I'm a new business or I'm a new homeowner and I drive down that street, it's not going to leave me with a very good impression. So, and you're right about the Route 8. They stuck us with it, but again, I don't know what the priority is, but the bottom line is there will be something done. How and when, I don't know yet. We'll keep you up to date.
Thank you.
All right, with that, motion to adjourn. Motion by Trish. Second by Al Bruno, all in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, meeting adjourned at 9:26 PM.